So this is part 2 of my series on pivot opportunities for optometrists, doing homage to my profession. And today we're going to talk about emerging career opportunities. So much is changing so rapidly in the world with technology and artificial intelligence, and it's impacting healthcare and just our lives in general in so many ways. I can't tell you over the course of just maybe the past month or two how much has come at me in this online space when it comes to doing things differently in business with systems, with artificial intelligence that's just moving at lightning speed. And reality is you have to stop, reflect, see how you need to adjust and refine your strategies so that you're not left behind, so that you're not still doing things the hard way. And that's the phase that I'm in right now. It's so much easier, honestly, to just stick with what you know because it's working and you've already developed a system around it. But if we don't embrace where the world is going, if we don't embrace better ways of doing things, we will be left behind, or we will be left doing things the hard way that nobody wants to do anymore. Okay, so if you want to stay at the cutting edge of where the world is going, opportunities that present themselves for professionals who want to break into industry or break into the online space, then this episode is for you. So optometrists, here goes. So last time we explored personality archetypes, and today we'll dig into real world opportunities. Okay, so hopefully you've had time to reflect on what's your personality type and sort of what kind of roles you think may suit you as you start to think of a pivot path. Now, I hope that today, when we delve into some of these, that you'll walk away with some tangible options, right? Knowing your personality archetype and what the real world opportunities are now, it will help create a little bit more clarity for you on some next steps. So I'm briefly going to present some emerging growth areas in healthcare in the world today, and they'll probably come as no surprise to you. The first is digital health and teleoptometry. So things like remote care, vision screening apps, telehealth integration have been on the rise over the past few years and are more and more becoming commonplace. There's been a lot of resistance from different circles, but the reality is there's no getting away from it. No matter how much advocacy we do, how much program development and policy development, there will still be people without access to care, either because they are too remote, there aren't enough human resources to meet the needs in their area, and so expertise really need to be drawn from elsewhere. And so that's where remote optometry and sort of app-based programs and services and telehealth integration comes into place, is how can we serve the needs of people who would otherwise have limited access to care for any number of those reasons, right? So if you're into technology or you want to be involved in that space, certainly you can be on the lookout for job opportunities in those spaces. And this also brings with it that sense of giving back to underserved communities, fostering growth of health systems or health systems strengthening in these areas. So beyond just the stimulation of being involved in a new field, there's the sense of, wow, I'm part of something bigger, and that real sense of, making the world a better place. These would be the kind of roles that are available in the space of AI and data science. And if this resonates with you, you could start exploring what this could look like. What are the organizations that you can target to work for? And the growth potential there is really being able to shape the future of diagnostics in eye care, or beyond eye care if you choose to move outside of that. But certainly in the healthcare space in general, AI is just having a bigger and bigger footprint, literally, by the day. So many more opportunities emerging there. Then the third growth area is interdisciplinary and chronic care models. And this has been going on for a number of years. For the most part, it's really just been trial and error and practicing what interdisciplinary care looks like, and in different parts of the world, it looks really different. But I think for me, this is such a rich and rewarding area to be involved in, where you work alongside primary care providers, diabetes care or special population care, or in public health, and the growth opportunities there really being a broader impact on public health for communities. So find the kinds of roles that stretch beyond eye care, beyond optometry, that can help you to network with health professionals who are doing things in specific spaces. And the moment you stretch outside of the boundaries of what you know and what you're comfortable with, you just enter a new growth trajectory, and it's so stimulating. Every time I started feeling bored or stagnant in my roles, that's what I did to level up. And so if you want to level up as a network outside of your domain, you'll learn different ways of doing things, learn what's happening in other industries and spaces, and then you'll see growth opportunities for yourself. Then fourthly, it's global health and nonprofits. It's not necessarily new, but I think as things shift in the world, politically, socially, economically, there's always space to be involved in advocacy, program leadership, humanitarian vision initiatives if you're staying in optometry, and really have the opportunity to influence policy and again impact underserved communities, which is so rewarding. Then finally, corporate and industry leadership. And I think so many more corporates are looking for clinicians with that on-the-ground experience who can bring that expertise into boardrooms and help inform, whether it's product development, service development, pharmaceuticals, eyewear, technology, and you can choose whichever branch suits you. And the growth opportunities, they're really endless, dependent on the organization you work with. Can be leadership, innovation, marketing, strategy. The list could go on, but it comes back to what is it that sparks that fuel of passion for you? When do you feel most passionate about what? When you're doing what kind of work and tasks, because that will tell you what kind of roles you need to start pursuing. Now, finally, as we wrap up this episode, what do you do with all this information? Well, you need to take action, right? Taking the first step is easy. Self-assessments in the Pivot Roundtable Summit, we spoke about some self-assessments that you can take, understanding your personality type, which is what we discussed in the last episode, give you some pointers as to where you should start directing your career pivot efforts. So start there, understanding your strengths, your values, what kinds of industry roles are you curious about, network with people in those roles, get more information, and see if this could be something that works for you. Then actively explore, pursue mentorship, take small courses, go to conferences where you're starting to get a little deeper into the space you're interested in, learn a little bit more before you finally take the leap and pivot into a role that will be your next level. Finally, and as I close, I want to remind you that opportunities are out there. The key is positioning yourself strategically and intentionally with information, knowing who you are, what you want, what's a good fit. And if all of that sounds a little bit overwhelming, it's exactly why I offer coaching calls with clients, is to help you work through those questions, to find the answers, to give you the clarity to step into that pivot path and create a new reality. So optometry is evolving, and so can you. Know that the consulting room is not where you need to end your career if you're wanting more. Choose curiosity over fear and let your skills open new doors for you. If this sounds exciting, I invite you to connect with me. I'll include the link in the show notes, and I look forward to walking your pivot journey with you and carving out a new path. Until next time, goodbye.